Hi, and welcome to CAM Resource Podcast, Episode 5, New Tech for Irrigation and Water Sources. Hello, and welcome to CAM Resource Podcast. Today we have Fran Stifel here, and she has worked in the maintenance industry for over 16 years. And she's fantastic. She's worked with me, and it's been a great pleasure to work with her. And I asked her to do a podcast because we have recently done some major, as they say, cutting edge technologies, things with our water infrastructure. One being our reclaimed sprinkler system and also our water infrastructure. And so, Fran, would you help us in explaining what we've done and what your thoughts on the steps we've taken?
Sure, Dad, I'd be glad to. One thing that we've done here in Placido Bayou over the course of the last 18 months is to replace all of our irrigation controller timers on our common area. We did away with the old type of timers that were merely just set to run so many days a week with a little sponge type rain sensor. And the newer controllers now are tied into the weather satellite. They have a weather station with them, and every day these controllers are gathering information from the weather satellite based on our latitude and our zip code, and it takes into consideration not only the amount of rainfall or the amount of water, but also the humidity, the wind, the temperature, and just all of the various components that go into learning about how much water is needed each day. The nice thing about these Weathermatics controllers that we use is that they not only lessen the amount of days that water, but on the days that they do water, they have a run-soak cycle. So the weather satellite might calculate that you need 3/4 of an inch of water on a certain zone. It doesn't just put it all on there at one time. It will turn on, run a little while, stop, let the water soak in, and then run again until it's delivered as much water as the satellite says that it needs. So that has reduced the amount of reclaimed water that we use here in Placido tremendously based on the run times. And the other nice thing about this Weathermatic system is that it has a great piece of software with it where you can actually look at the run times each day. You can look at the soak times. You can calculate the exact amount of water for each zone. And we have 10 irrigation timers on our common area, and we have between 4 and 7 zones on each timer. So that's a lot of sprinkler heads that's being controlled by the Weathermatic timer.
And Fran, one thing that I noticed that was kind of cool, you can turn the zones on with your phone.
It is smart technology. There's an app that allows you can do a wet check of all your sprinkler heads, just riding in a golf cart or walking the property. You can also check for a bad zone valve. You can check for electrical problems, all through the app on the phone as well as the computer.
So far, we're very happy with the system. Fran, do you remember what the actual cost was? We don't need to do, but approximately what somebody would be looking at if they did this on a...
Well, initially we put in 4 of these timers just to see how they would work, and I don't remember the amount that we paid for those 4, but when we did the additional 6 timers, it was just over $10,000.
For 6 timers?
For 6 timers.
Okay. And then we'll put some links on the website so you can get some information and get some bids on possibly doing this with your own property. I know on this one property it was reclaimed water, but a lot of us have the other water, which would be a dramatic savings. Or at least
if a property has, even if some properties have their reclaim is metered, which means that they pay the reclaim cost for the actual amount that they use. Here in Placido, ours is paid by the acreage, so we don't see like a savings in our water bill. But if you have a property that is watering with potable water or metered reclaimed water, it would be a tremendous savings.
And one of the reasons why this community wanted to do it was the reclaimed water dumps into the lakes, which affects the lakes overall. So that was one of our reasonings, was to kind of monitor and limit the reclaimed water going into the lake system. So that we're so far very happy with that. Fran, can you tell us the other step that we took recently that we're working on?
The next big project that we have happening here in Placido Bayou is that we have contracted with a company that can locate and through Google Earth and on a wonderful piece of software, all of our reclaim and domestic water valves and water lines. Will be walking the property, dropping a GPS pin where every valve is. We'll mark the size of the pipe, the size of the valve, 1 or 2 or 3 valves you cut off to shut water off to different sections of the community. And we'll have all of that in cloud-based, but Google Earth, but it's also will be put onto an overall site mount that we have.
And so could you, let's say you had a leak and you had a plumber out there, could that help you?
Yeah, it means that right now I'm pretty much the only one who knows which valves you need to turn off to shut off water to a location here in Placido Bayou. But any plumber that is familiar with water valves, and they all would be, could look at this overall map and know exactly which valves and know what size the lines were. And yeah, it would help anybody that comes along.
And so how would the plumber get it at the time? Let's say, they're out there in a leak. Is it available via the smartphone?
And that I'm not sure about. That's something that we'll have to look at after we get it processed. It might be that we could put it at our guardhouse on a computer in Dropbox on the guardhouse where they could just go to the gatehouse and look at it there.
So to me, that's well worth it. Any person that's ever dealt with a water problem knows how valuable that might be. Well, Fran, I wanted to thank you so much for talking to us today. And once again, she's just fabulous. It's been such a pleasure to work with Fran. And I hope you'll come back and talk to us again and give us some updates on the system.
Sure will, Diana. Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes episode 555. We hope you found it helpful and informative. As always, you can join us at camresource.info for more episodes, or go to our YouTube channel, Cam Resource. See you there.
Join us next episode where we'll be learning how to manage community painting projects.